Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name's Tanya. This is not a cooking video. I'm not going to have one single recipe in this video. We are getting ready to do some traveling. We are going to be going to Europe because our daughter is graduating with her master's degree. And the graduation ceremony is coming up in a few days. So we're going to be leaving in about 4 days, but I knew if I packed early, I'd be ready to go. So I got my stuff packed, and I wouldn't even care if the airlines called and goes, could y'all just show up tonight? Leave tonight. I gotta wait 4 or 5 more days. So, but we still do have a lot to do, including boarding the dogs, which if you're anything like me, I have to pack in the other room because I can't let the dogs see the suitcase. They'll know something's going on. I don't want them to hear me. They'll know I'm talking about leaving. But they have to go to their obedience trainers, and she boards them while we're gone. And although my husband thinks they're excited, I think they're incredibly nervous. But, somewhere in between that, they somehow make it. And our boarder is so sweet. She always sends us pictures every day of the dogs playing with other dogs and what they're doing. But we're going to cut right to the chase. First thing I'm going to do is share some of my travel tips. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting my microphone. Some of my travel hacks. Now, I just assume if I know how to do this, most people know how to do it. It's just common sense, but some people go, oh, I never thought about that. So I'm going to share the few hacks with you that I have appreciated over the years. So I'm going to show you, this is our suitcase in the background. As you can see, it's one of the bigger suitcases that's allowed on any major carrier. And this is my half right here. This is my husband's half right here. I have packed my half and it's all zipped up. I even have an extra pair of, my daughter wanted us to bring her boots and some yoga pants or something that she wanted. So we're taking those to her. I had that much room in mine. I'm also going to be carrying a carry-on, which is just a backpack. It's not a wheeled luggage. I'm going to take a carry-on and then a personal item, but I'll share more about that in just a second. So the first thing I want to tell you is that Ziploc bags are kind of a lifesaver to us. Just big Ziploc bags. These are a stack of quart size and gallon size. But here's what we do. We fold up our clothes. Notice I'm not showing you my underclothes. I'm showing you my husband's underclothes. But he has his t-shirts nicely rolled up. You put it in here. And although you can squeeze the air out of them, they kind of get air in them again. So right before we close the suitcase, what I tell him to do is sit on the bag, open up the bag just a little bit, sit on the bag and let all the air out of the bag, then zip it up real quick, put it in the suitcase real quick, pack them all in there, and then we close the lid on it. Then we have to worry about it weighing too much, but hopefully that's not going to be an issue. But this, it makes it easier to find things when you're trying to unpack once you get somewhere. Now, we're only staying in one hotel when we're going to the UK, so it's not like we have to keep packing up and moving like we've done when we've taken trips to Israel and places like that. We don't have to ever pack up and move to a different hotel once we get there. So as you can see, he has his clothes laid out here. These are the ones that he'll fold out. I've got his passport out of the safe, so he's got that ready to go. He has his undershirts in one bag, socks, underwear, and something back here, hankies, and probably more undershirts back there. We'll take more of the Ziploc bags with us just in case we figure out something we need to put in those later on, or even things to bring back. He has his shoes ready. I put an umbrella down here for him. He has bags to put his shoes in so they don't get anything else dirty. And I want to share with you now about the carry-on and the personal luggage. So this is my carry-on that I'm using. Now, I could use a piece of roller luggage, but I'm not. I'm just using a backpack because I don't want to kind of fumble around with a bigger piece of luggage. We'll have that. We're sharing that one suitcase. So that's our one checked bag. So in this, I have an umbrella. I also have a gift for my daughter. I have some chocolate mint tea that I found and a little heart-shaped teaspoon I'm taking to her. So I don't have a whole lot in there yet. What I also have in this bag is, now remember, this is my carry-on. I have my charger and I have a couple of small locks with keys, and I'm putting it in the outside pocket. And the reason being is because if at the last minute they say to us, sorry, there's no more room in the overhead, we're gonna have to check the bags, then I, at that point, grab the keys out of the pocket, I lock the zippers closed so it can go in the underbelly of the plane. And I have the keys right here. Not that they can't get into it if they want to, but more than likely if there's a lock on it, nobody tends to mess with it just because it takes too much time. Now, I also have my passport in this, and this is a little crossbody bag with just a little strap on it. And this can go under your clothes if you need for it to. It's thin enough to, it has a little ink pen, and you have more pockets for other documents if you need to put other things in there. Now this is my personal bag. So this takes the place of my purse. My purse will go in this bag. So normally if you have a carry-on, they say you can have a carry-on and a personal item. And a lot of people think, well, my personal item is my purse. But if you pack your purse inside a larger bag, then you have a lot more room to carry things. In this bag, I have an extra like shampoo, conditioner, razor. I have an extra set of underclothes and socks. I have all my supplements in here, my vitamin K and D3, vitamin C, zinc, stuff like that. And in here, in this other little bag, I have just something like little ginger tablets for if you get nausea or something. And of course a toothbrush and small toothpaste. Now remember, when you have a carry-on, you have to make sure it's less than, what is it, like 3.5 ounces. So none of these items in here are larger than 3.5 ounces. These are travel bottles, and they don't hold more than 3.5 ounces, so I don't have to worry too much about overfilling those. All your liquids have to go in a gallon, or no, I'm sorry, a quart size zip top bag. So these are already in that zip top bag. For the ones that you're checking in, it doesn't matter how much liquid you have in that and your shampoo and stuff. I mean, you wouldn't want a giant bottle of it, but who needs that much? But in these, if it's one that you're carrying on the plane, it has to be in a smaller bottle like this. And of course, I also have my neck pillow, and I have it in 2 bags here so it doesn't get all dusty in the closet. But it's not one of the super squishy ones. It's memory foam, but it's one of the better ones. Now, I asked my husband yesterday, do you want to take your neck pillow? And he said, nah, it always feels like I'm kind of leaning forward like that. And I said, well, you have it on backwards. You're supposed to put it on like this. And he looked at me like I was crazy. So anyway, maybe I am crazy, but that's how you're supposed to wear it. So anyway, this will be in my personal bag, and I'll switch it to this bag if this bag doesn't have to go in the underbelly of the plane, if this bag can stay with me, but you just never know. So anyway, but also in that bag, here's the fun part. So in my bag, people always laugh at me, but if you're a passenger that's close to me, you enjoy sitting with me because I also have snacks in my bag. I take raisin bread that's sliced already, and it is delicious, and it's made with molasses. And I have another video. We will link that video in the description of this video, so if you want to look back at that. But I make raisin bread. I have sausage biscuits. I probably have some bacon biscuits wrapped up. I have almonds and raisins and popcorn and all kinds of stuff. And my husband complains until we get on the plane and he gets hungry, and then I'm the one, he starts going, what you got in your bag there? So that's always funny to see what he finds in my bag that he complained about me taking with him. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I know I have to share with you about that, but I do want to share one more hack with you. I'm gonna have to turn the camera off, and we'll go in the other room and I'll show you something else. Okay, by the way, that was not our bedroom. That was one of our guest rooms. That was my daughter's bedroom when she was younger, and that's a little bit. We don't sleep in a twin size bed. Okay, here's what I have. This is going on the plane with me. And all this is just frozen bottled water. And I left the artesian water in this, but you could empty it out. I like my Berkey water. That's filtered water, and it tastes really good, but I like to take it with me. But a lot of people don't realize that if water is frozen and made into ice, then you can actually take it through security. I didn't believe it either at first, but I tried it back a few years ago. I met my daughter in Amsterdam, and we traveled to Rome and Paris for a couple of weeks and came back. And I told my husband, I said, I really need a big bottle of water to take with me. I don't want to go in and just buy bottled water once I get to the airport. That's just so senseless. I really want some good flavored water, and that's my Berkey water, which just is as a clean taste. It doesn't have a flavor to it, but it's a clean taste. And so I was watching these videos. There is a YouTube channel called Travel by Laurie, Laurie, and she is a pilot's wife, and she lives in the Houston area, and her husband apparently is a pilot for Delta, and she has the most fabulous tips, and she's so down to earth. She's really cute, really funny, but I think this is one of the hacks that I got from her. But if your water is frozen, it is not considered a liquid, and you can take it through security. Now here, we showed up at the Little Rock Airport and got to the ticket counter, and I checked in my, checked in my bag maybe, or maybe just got our boarding passes there. And the lady at the desk said, my husband made sure, that it was okay. And she goes, no, you can't take that with you. And I said, well, that's funny, because I looked on the TSA website and it said that if it's ice, that it's not considered a liquid. She looked at me like, you are wackadoodle. And I said, you know what, worst case scenario, I'll put it in the trash if I can't take it through security. I got through security, and there was 2 gentlemen working security, and they looked at me like, how did you know that? I just felt so smart. I just felt so empowered by that one bottle of frozen water. And I caught my plane. I changed planes in, Atlanta. I had wonderful water the entire flight. I was so excited. It was a pretty big water. It was a pretty big bottle of water, but it was so delicious. I was so proud of myself. So my husband decided he wants a bottle too. So we're carrying our frozen bottles now. This has to be frozen. When you get to the airport and get to security, it has to be frozen. It cannot be slushy, and it cannot be just ice floating in water. It has to be frozen solid. So the day that we leave here, I will put those 2 bottles in a little tiny styrofoam cooler that works really, really well. And we will head straight to the airport. And by the time we get to the airport and check in and get to security, we have a small airport in Little Rock, and that will still be frozen hard as a rock. So I'm excited about that. So that's my hack for then. We're going to continue to make a vlog on this video. My husband's going to do most of the video. I don't think he wants to be in them. I don't get why. It's like everybody knows who you are. Most people who watch this are friends of ours. So I don't know why you don't want in the video. And my daughter, she doesn't care about being in the videos either. She says that's weird. So anyway, it'll just be me. He'll be videoing me a lot. So we want to take you on our travels with us as we go to the UK. This is going to be over the next week and a half. So we look forward to sharing it with you. We haven't been over to the UK in, it's probably been 35 years since we've been to London. So this is going to be different. We keep saying, oh, the subways were so dirty when we were there. I mean, you'd go down the tube and there'd be like trash and leaves blowing on you. And she looks at us like we're crazy. And she goes, they're not like that now. So we'll see. So we're going to take a look at it. We're not going to do a lot of touristy things, but we're still going to do some fun things. And we hope to show you around and give you a look at what it's like. So stick with us. Okay, here's one more thing I want to tell you. I'm sure I'll think of a lot of things I want to tell you between now and we leave. This right here, this looks like dirt. This is my honey carob milk mix. In other words, this is salt, powdered carob, but you could use powdered cocoa. It's just that carob doesn't have caffeine in it, and it's really delicious. And it has honey in it. So this is raw honey, carob, and salt, and I mixed it into a paste. And let me tell you, this stuff is thick, but a heaping teaspoon of this, there's a little dried carob in the bottom, a heaping teaspoon of this in a glass of milk is going to make a delicious drink for breakfast. So I'm excited about that. I know I'm not going to be able to have breakfast like I do at home when I'm over there. So I'm just making preparations ahead of time. So this is my honey carob mix. So thought you'd want to see that. If you want a video about the carob milk, I think we have a video I can't remember how long ago it was, but it should be easy to find in the videos that we produce. It just says carob milk or maybe chocolate milk only better, something like that. So anyway, that's our look at my mix. Looks like dirt. It's gonna be delicious. Here's one more thing I want to show you before we head out on our trip. Here's what I put my supplements in. And what I do is I put a little piece of paper in there just to avoid any confusion or make it look like, oh, I'm smuggling something I'm not supposed to. So these are all the things I take in the morning, and it describes what it is. The 5,000 individual units of D3, it describes it being as a gold gel cap. So I just have a description of the things I take. Same thing for the evening. I have all that in there. And this is just for TSA. When we go through security, I don't want them to think I have something that I'm not supposed to. This is going to go on my carry-on along with just a change of socks and underclothes in case we don't get our luggage when we get to our destination. So this all goes in a packing envelope and will go in my carry-on along with all my snacks, which are, of course, the most important things. So just a little travel hack. Put all your supplements, any prescription drugs will need to go in the bottle that they came in with the name of the drug on it. But anything like a supplement can go in a bag like this, but it's best to, I think, just label it just for information. So that's it. Okay, we're about to leave. And this is why I like traveling, is because I always clean my house really well before we leave. And the countertops are clean. I even washed the coverlet on the bed, which I've been needing to do for months. So anyway, that's always good to get done. So this is what my kitchen looks like when it's clean. So fun stuff. We're on our way. Okay, just to show you what our Little Rock Airport looks like. Isn't this so pretty? This is kind of new within the last few years. Just pretty, pretty stuff. Okay, so these are our friends, the Neelys, and we get to the airport and we're sitting there at our gate and we look up and we see them, and they're sweet friends of ours, part of our church family, so I was pumped to see them before we left. This is us sitting at our gate, waiting to leave to go to Charlotte and eating raisin bread. I spotted my luggage out there, and I was just excited, so I had to take a picture of it. At least I know it's coming with me. We're waiting. We do a lot of waiting. This is leaving Charlotte, headed for the UK. We got a seat right in the middle of the back row. This is our view. Could have been worse, but not much. This is when we first got to London. This is us, our whole family, on the tube. This is a monument. It is a monument to the Great Fire of London. And let's see, I took a picture of it a while ago. Let me see if I can find it. This is the monument to commemorate the Great Fire of London. It was built between 1671 and 1677, so that was a long time ago, but it's one of those things I remember seeing it years ago when we were there, so that was kind of cool. We were out enjoying a walk on a sunny day, crossing one of the bridges. This was at Sky Garden. This is real interesting. There's a view from the top. It's the place where you can go. There's no fee for it. There's a bar up there and a lot of plants and just a lot of people standing around. It was cold outside, but as you can see, the view is phenomenal. We went at just the right time at sunset. We were, of course, out of our minds, tired from flying. We'd taken a nap, but still, that was a lot of fun. It was good atmosphere. This is the view from up there. That's the Tower Bridge, I believe. And you can see the Shard and all kinds of London-ish things. That was fun to look at. I wish I could have gotten a better view without the reflection from the window, but it was still fun. There's that Shard. There's me and my baby. And me and the husband. This is called Sunday Roast, and we chose the pork, and this meal was phenomenal. My husband keeps talking about it, and it's too funny. It was a very, very good meal. We all three had the exact same thing, but I just had to take a picture of it because it was just so pretty. You know me and food, and we ate every single thing on that plate. It was really nice. There's a Yorkshire pudding, potatoes, pork roast, some carrots, steamed broccoli, and this is what I did finally at the end of the day. Just watching some British TV. This is at the British Museum. This is my husband and daughter walking around. There's a big atrium in the center. He's doing a fist bump to one of the statues, of course, being funny. And this is the ram caught in the thicket. If any of you are familiar with Bible stories, then you know what I'm talking about. It has a little bit of information on the next picture, and you can pause the video and read that. But I remember seeing this when we went there about 40 years ago in a different location in the British Museum. My husband was so excited because we went to Baker Street on the tube and ate pizza one night. So he's a big fan of the song Baker Street. This is just some of the artwork on some of the things in the British Library. A lot of Bibles are on display, and they were hand-painted. I just thought they were so phenomenal, the detail. These are so small and yet so detailed. But bless his heart, baby Jesus looks like a shaved cat, and it's kind of sad. But look at all that artwork on there. It is just unbelievable how painstakingly difficult this must have been, but I just thought it was very interesting. This is from the Sherborne Missal, whatever it's called. Here's some information. I thought it would be kind of fun to share that with you in case you wanted to just go to that website. This was at Tate Modern Museum. They have an area down there for children to play in. This is a Picasso. Actually, one I've never seen before. I've never heard of this one, but hey, they had it at Tate Modern. This is what Doug did a lot of. Actually, not really. I just caught him sleeping one night and thought that was funny. Actually, in the afternoon. This was fish and chips. We went and had that green stuff. It's called mushy peas. It's a thing. It's just English peas mashed up and has mint in it, which ruined it for me, but my husband thought it was great. These are pain de chocolates, and they're very good. This is a typical breakfast that we had in our hotel. Our hotel was actually very good. It was just the Hampton Inn at Waterloo, and we booked it through, I believe he said Travelocity, and just got kind of a package deal. We didn't really know where we were staying or anything about it, but it was perfect location. The breakfast was actually, for a hotel breakfast, it was very good. This is our view from the window. The ambulance service was directly across the street, and I thought it was going to be super loud, but we hardly ever heard it. Typical double-decker bus. Their travel amenities are just unsurpassed. You could get anywhere just in such a quick amount of time. It was just crazy. Pretty blue sky, which is kind of uncommon for London to have such a clear blue sky. They're normally pretty cloudy. There's the London Eye in the distance, and the entire week we were there, it was closed for maintenance, but they had it lit up at night, as you'll see in a later shot. But we had a pretty good view from our hotel room. We had 2 big giant windows, and I actually enjoyed the location. There was a park right below that area right there behind that circular building. This is at night. You can see the London Eyes lit up in pink. And again, a clear sky, which was really nice. Here's our babies from back home. Zoe and Lacey are among the 2 bigger dogs, but our trainer just wanted us to know that they were doing okay. She does that for us. This is a train we took down to Kingston, where our daughter lived when she was at university. And we had never been to the town before, so we took a train down there, and the train ride was just it was just the cutest thing. We got to see so many things. This is in Kingston itself. The river's real close to where she lived, and you can just walk along there. There's restaurants, there's boats to rent. Of course, it was cold that day, and nobody was on the river much, but the clouds were coming overhead, but it was still nice. We just walked and walked and walked, and look at these views. The houses across the water are not too shabby. I would say that's a really nice place right there. Looked like they had a little greenhouse and all kinds of fun amenities in that place. There's Lacey and Zoe on the left, and they are worn out and dirty this week. Okay, you got to see this. This is the most disgusting thing we saw the whole time we were there. A public urinal. I'm not even kidding. Very public urinal. People just walk up and use it. And my husband said, oh, I'd so use that if I needed to. I'm like, you are out of your mind. Okay, ivory bill woodpeckers at the History Museum. They had dinosaur bones. They had whale skeletons. They had shells. They had so many things there. I saw a really cool display case that just literally had thousands of hummingbirds in it. Not live, but they were displayed on branches and stuff. It was beautiful. This is the last night we went to Dashum Indian restaurant, and the food was quite fabulous. We left on the Waterloo line, went back to our hotel room. This is our last night there, but they had cleaned our room, so we thought we'd give you a look at it once they cleaned our room. You have to put your key in to get the lights going and the heat and air and everything, which is kind of handy. They're starting to do that a lot of places there. And as you can see, our room's pretty large. What we didn't realize was Travelocity booked us a handicap accessible room, which is nice because it allowed us to get into our room early the first day we were there, but got a huge bathroom. But neither one of us needed a handicap room, but we were not going to turn it down because, like I said, we got in our room early that first day, and boy, did I need it too. I was sleepy. Otherwise, we'd have just been sitting there with our luggage till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but they let us in at about 8:30 that morning. There's the view from one of the windows, a view, sorry about the reflection, a view from the other window. There's the London Eye out there, and a reflection of the bathroom. There's the doggies. They are so nasty. She always gives them a bath before they come back home, but this is like doggy boot camp for them. They are so tired. This is us on the tube, I believe, going to the airport. Yeah, and this is our flight. We're headed back to the U.S. This is the view. Bye-bye, London. This was our lunch. This was actually the best meal I had on the flight, and it wasn't too bad. This was our new friend that we met. His name was Tejas, and he is from Charlotte, and he was the most pleasant passenger to be beside. We actually became good friends with him. We're tight now. So this is when we landed back in Little Rock. We went to Charlotte, laid over for a little while, flew back to Little Rock, and did I say Charlotte? Yeah, flew to Charlotte for a little while and changed planes, flew to Little Rock, and this is what it looked like when we landed in Little Rock that night at about, I think it was between 8 and 9 o'clock. I'm not really sure. And this is when we made it home. Our dogs were quite excited. My husband says they always tell each other, they're never coming back. Your parents are never coming back. But you can see Zoe can't even stay on the floor. She's wagging so much. I'll just let y'all enjoy that view. Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching our trip as much as we enjoyed taking the trip. And glad you got to come along. Have a good day.
Puppies. Puppies. You had so much fun. Oh, goodness. You're bumping into my toes. You're bumping into my toes. You silly girl. Uh-oh. You're getting all tangled up. Let's get your necklace off. Hey.